Come on now. Come on now. Hey, let's fucking go, man. Welcome back to the 404 Fear Not Found podcast.
Yes, sir.
It's your boy Chayse Lucci with my brother over here, Elijah Wiley.
How we doing?
Let's go. We're ready to rock today. We got something fresh. We got something special for you. It's the first episode back. We're getting ready to start a new season, a new chapter with you boys. We couldn't be more excited. More to stay tuned for this episode. Stick around and watch through.
Yeah. It was good.
We are back and at it with the 404 Fear Not Found podcast.
Yes,
what
we
more
are.
could you ask?
Exactly. And we're so happy to tap in with our peoples. We're so happy to just update you guys on what we have going on our quarter four stretch. And hey, tap in with us. Lock in. Ask us whatever you want, whatever questions you have, and let's get this shit on and popping.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think it's really important to acknowledge, where we're at this point in the year. It's first week of October, quarter four of the business year of the physical year starting and getting down to the nitty gritty of finishing off this year strong. It's been a while. It's been a while, quite frankly, of us doing this together.
When was our last episode?
Our last episode was over 2 months ago now.
Yeah.
And it's been something that's been heavy on our minds. We haven't forgot about, the message that we tried to get to you guys. It's more so we've just had a lot going on. Been having a lot of big changes this year. Since the last time we were on, we had all three of us. You had Hunter with us as well. Hunter's not here today. And that's not only just because he's not in Florida with us, but Hunter actually decided that he had to make a big decision. He got a dream job of his that he had been working hard towards for a long time. Everything in life is kind of an exchange. Everything you got to, give something to get another. So in exchange for him getting this dream job, he kind of had to take a step back from, the whole creator aspect of things, putting his face and his words out there. They're very picky with the messages that their employees are able to portray. And they kind of like to keep everything more business oriented. So we just want to give a big salute to Hunter.
Yes, we do.
For fucking busting his ass and for getting that dream job that, he wants. This isn't a goodbye for Hunter in this part of the chapter or this part of our journey. We would love to have him back. You never know. So I would say, never say never.
Exactly. But other than that, bro, what have you been up to these past 2 months?
And oh my gosh, this past 2 months, first of all, go Phils, man.
Are they even in
Yeah.
They are?
Yeah, we're going
I don't
crazy.
know anything about baseball. I heard the guards are going crazy though.
They are.
Okay.
They are.
Okay.
The Phils, I'm not going to lie, I didn't know how they were doing until the other day. I was like, let me just look up the records real quick to see. And they were like the top of their side of the
bracket. Who are they playing? Yeah, what a fan.
Go Birds. I'm just having to wear this because, the tough weekend for the Birds. First loss of 2025. It's all good. We lost, though. We talked about the Broncos got us. We deserved that loss. But anyways, that's enough about the Eagles. I've been on the move. I've been working, just creating something. It's been one of those things where you have to kind of pull your attention in the different directions and pick and choose what makes more sense for you to give, your time and energy and efforts towards.
Exactly.
But I went back up to Pennsylvania. I've been down in Florida getting sales going down here, getting businesses started. But I had to go back up north to help a family business out. And get some work done up there. It was a great summer. I started my second season coaching the midgets for my local school. Shout out to the Warriors. They are now 8-0 on the season, just wrapped up the regular season.
That's what I'm talking about.
Playoffs starting next week. I told the boys before I left, I said, fellas, if you make it to that Super Bowl weekend again, just like we did last year, I said, Coach Chayse will be back on that flight and we'll be there coaching you up on the sideline. And it's looking pretty good. So I have no problem being a man of my word and flying up there and making sure that them boys got everything to close it up again and to bring that Lombardi back to the city. I hate to join a team and to give them, my time and then to just kind of have to, hey, it's a trade-off. You got to make decisions in life. So other than that, fresh start down here, new spot and a beautiful location, just a fresh start with business. Got a few different things rolling right now. And, got some new faces around, meeting some new people, networking, crazy. Your network is your net worth. Still believe in that fully. And down here, you really never know who you're going to meet.
Exactly.
There's people with Tesla trucks and Lamborghinis and Corvettes and Raptors and just stuff that, it's everyday things for people that are in this type of area. So you got to, closed mouths don't get fed. So just put my head out there and just, really just chasing any opportunity that I see fit for myself. And so far, so great. I'm really grateful and very blessed. I've decided to give my life back to Jesus Christ this year. I am so much more dedicated in my faith and practicing my religion. It's been something that, the past couple of years, you can kind of find a lot of ways to get off that track. But, again, where are you putting your focus, where are you putting your energy towards? And I realized if I want to live a life worth living, then I have to dedicate myself to something bigger than myself. Because, you can always just pick for you and choose things that make you happy or that you want to do. But at the end of the day, that's not always the right thing, because it's not always going to get you as far to those positions that you want to be in.
Exactly. I love to hear that, man. I'm so proud of you, bro. It's my little man.
What about you, big dog?
Bro, man, same here. Honestly, this past summer has just been an amazing, all ups. Last time we were talking on the pod, we were talking about my sales, going for that sales position. Unfortunately, everything didn't turn the way I wanted it to, but with that, I got something better, and that's also doing my passion, which is also detailing private jets. And I also moved to a townhouse as well. So just like doing those things, getting to travel and see the boys that I haven't saw in about 2 years, all of that. And just, I love seeing the boys that you don't get to see all the time, because it brings back those memories that you made long times ago. And yeah, coming to see you besides Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Orlando and that's it. I think Sanibel as well, but yeah, just seeing you, bro. That's honestly has been the best part of the summer, when we had our good time Thursday and that word was bold. That's what I've learned from this trip. It's just about being bold, going for the things that, you didn't think you could go for, and then ultimately getting it, and just being bold and just being yourself. Honestly, that's what this summer has taught me. And I'm just excited for this Q4, this last stretch of understanding my next step of my career, and I know God got a plan for me.
Amen. And just to touch on that as well, is being bold. I mean, and being yourself at the same time. When you combine, your authentic self, but also at the same time combining your own confidence in yourself with the extra boldness. I mean, it can take you to great heights. It really can. You don't realize sometimes what you're capable of, because we set these limitations on our own brains based on our surroundings, based on what we're consuming on our feeds or who we were raised around. But at the same time, you got to remember that there's a lot of people out there that are doing a lot of things that you would love to be doing, and they're not much more qualified than you. They just took the necessary steps, and they took bold actions, and they took risks. And I've said that so many times on this podcast about how it's about, taking the risks. It's about leaving your comfort zone, and it's about making sure your mentality is right. But, those two things combined, your self-confidence and also the boldness in your actions. I mean, man, it can really just turn your whole life around. So just being bold, just doing different things that you're not used to doing. The same things that you did in the past aren't going to be the same things that get you places in the future.
Exactly.
Now, you might have done things that you're very proud of and accomplished for in the past, but at the end of the day, you got to move forward and get better every day. Because if you ain't getting better, getting worse.
Yeah. And then you get comfortable with being in that spot, when ultimately we always should be evolving into our true form and becoming the best version that we could ever be. But yeah, man.
Yeah. Just a little recap on what's going on and everything else.
Yeah.
Let's talk sports a little bit.
Football's back.
Philadelphia sports, 4-1 on the season so far. It's not too bad. I had the privilege actually to go see the Eagles live in action versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last weekend. Had great tickets. Oh my gosh, it was so hot on that field, but it was such an amazing experience to see the Super Bowl champs live in action. I mean, you could say what you want. If you're not an Eagles fan, I get it. But like seeing the team that just won it all for you, that you rooted for so hard, live in person, putting in that work. It's just something like out of a movie, seeing them win that game. Again, frustrating loss to the Broncos. But other than that, the NFL season's been very exciting so far. I mean, you got some big disappointments, like teams like the Ravens. I mean,
1-4.
Some other things that aren't much of a surprise. The Cowgirls starting about 1-2-1 on the year. That's a great record to start with. Go Dallas, huh? Steelers not too bad. Browns being the Browns for sure.
Shadur. Hey, get them in the game. Get them in the game.
Yeah, you got the Panthers. His game.
Hey, we won yesterday.
Good game.
A win is a win. Came back from a 17-point loss. That is tied for the highest most point deficit and comeback for our franchise. So I'm not mad. We play the Cowgirls next Sunday, and I wish I could be in Charlotte for that game, but I'm gonna be watching and keep pounding. That's our slogan.
Shout out Rico Dowdle, 240 yards on the day. That's a good hey, that's not looking good for my boy Chuba Hubbard because that's my fantasy running back. Hey, fantasy football is going okay. I'm in some leagues with some of the boys from school. I'm in the leagues with some of the boys from home, and it's never a dull moment playing fantasy.
Yeah, y'all tried to fuck me in fantasy, bro. Last time I played, y'all didn't even try to set me up to be successful. I won one game. I was like,
anybody else's fault though,
because it was the draft, and I drafted Tom Brady first, not knowing any better. And, that was my first and last time playing fantasy. But honest question though.
Okay.
What do you think is better, NFL games live or a SEC football game live in the stadium?
Oh, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think that's even really close. I think it's the college games.
Yeah,
those big atmospheres. I personally love watching college football games because it's something about that hunger and that energy. It's like these kids really want to make it.
Yeah, they're fighting for that NFL spot.
They have
fighting for it.
Yeah, you were the best in high school. You came to a college town, and you got all the love by the coaches and the recruiters and your teammates. But it's like, unless you go out there every Saturday and put it on, you're not going to make nothing. And so I love watching those young kids now. I mean, it's crazy. We're getting to the point where everybody in that league is younger than us. So. Yo,
isn't it so weird though?
Oh yeah, bro. Like, seeing everybody get drafted to the NFL being younger now, it's like, where did the time go?
Yeah.
But no, I love watching college football games, especially like the SEC ones, the Big Ten games, Ohio State games, Georgia, Bama games. Like, I don't know. I haven't been to one of those since probably about 2 or 3 years ago. So it's been a while since I've been to a college football game, but that energy is crazy.
That energy is crazy. And I will have to say the same. I always wanted to go to like a SEC football game. Georgia's SEC, right? Yeah. So like a Georgia game, because that's my second favorite college football team under the Ohio State Buckeyes. Yeah, I just feel like the tailgating, the student like atmosphere just brings that extra energy to the crowd, and it just gets everybody pumped.
No doubt.
We should try to do that one time. Sure. Go to like a SEC or a Big Ten game.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, I'm in Columbus, so. You got Ohio State right there.
Yeah, we'll catch a Buckeyes game. Yeah, I have to check what the rest of the schedule is looking like.
Yeah, but man, it's so good having like sports back, and especially football. Football is just the American sport. Like, if you're a man, for the most part, you're probably watching football every Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Thursday. And like, it's a good way to just waste time too. Like, not that you always want to waste time, but shit, like, when I work from home, you can have the game on too. It's just like perfect day. Get my work done, make some money, and watch a sport that I really love.
Yeah. No doubt.
The springtime's kind of rough with no sports. What do I do?
That's when you got to really be a baseball
fan.
And it's like,
I've never been to a major league game. I have to go.
Really?
Yep.
They're pretty fun. It's different, especially if, you go to like a Pirates game. Pirates games are fun. But other than that, major news in the sports world. I mean, shit.
League neighbors out.
You got a lot of people out for the season.
A lot of injuries, guys. You're investing so much money in your body. So why are you getting injured?
See, I'll speak on that because he can't really speak on that from a football standpoint. Yeah. Injuries are most certainly part of the game. They always have been, and unfortunately, they always will be. You could spend up to like $1 million on your body and all your training and having nutritionists, but at the end of the day, especially when you're playing on turf, if you look at like the statistics, most of the injuries that are non-contact, like those happen on turf just from the way how fast those dudes are moving.
Yeah.
A lot of injuries could fuck up your fantasy team for sure. Your dreams for winning that championship. Fuck up your team's dreams for winning the Super Bowl. Your quarterback goes down. Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels been banged up. Eagles offensive line's been banged up. My main thing that's making me not love the NFL a lot recently is just how it's run from the top of the organization, like from the commissioner down. It's like, first of all, the fining these NFL players. I get it. They're making, tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, if they get fined $40K, that's like a regular person getting a parking ticket. But it's like, at the same time, why are players getting fined for the same plays that the NFL is posting all over their social media?
That is weird.
It's like, you'll see CBS, you'll see Fox Sports, you'll see ESPN posting all these crazy plays, and then you'll see the same Twitter pages post. Barkley got charged $50K for lowering his head on a run, but that same run was a highlight all over that.
That's weird.
And then it's like same thing with like the uniforms and stuff. If your socks ain't high enough, you're getting charged like 30, 40, 50,000. It's like, it's the fines, and it's like they didn't call it the no fun league for a reason. They want it to be ran like a military style. I get that because as a young football player and as a young person in general, you look up to these people, these role models. If you're a young kid and you want to make it to the NFL, and you look up and everybody at your positions acting a certain type of way, you're going to feel that that's the way you need to act.
Mhm.
It's a trickle down effect. But my main thing also is just the officiating.
Yeah.
Penalties,
You call 'em
penalties,
when you want
costly
to.
penalties that can be called throughout the whole game, but get
Yeah.
called in critical moments. And
Yeah.
like, it's almost so obvious that there's just too much money involved in this, and that it's not really just like team versus team. It's deeper than just
It's Las
my team
Vegas
versus your team. It's the bookies and the
Yeah.
investors and
Yeah.
unfortunately the people that make all the decisions, and that could be a good transition point for us. It's kind of like anything else in life and how everything else we're seeing right now with the world and the world leaders and the just switch it completely to almost like more of a political type of talk. It's kind of crazy all seeing the shifting of control, the different people that are making different rules for our own groups of people, for people that are affecting families, relatives. It's kind of scary. It's a weird, uncertain time, I feel like, in our country right now. There's wars going on all around the world. There's natural disasters every single week in different parts of the country. You got fires, you got floods, tornadoes, sandstorms, hurricanes, earthquakes. It's like, we might be really seeing those type of times where it's like
we are.
the biblical times of, the world's going crazy and it's very uncertain of what's next. And that's why, in my opinion, it's very, very important to have that relationship with God and to have that faith. In those times of uncertainty that we're living in right now, what's next is something that a lot of people are wondering. And especially, like I said, with the, the political powers and the wars, and you could not want to talk about that and you could want to avoid it. But at the end of the day,
it's happening
and it's affecting everybody. But you should definitely do your own research into that and be at least aware of what's going on, because media, it's a weird time with that too, because we're so informed by social media in a way of where we see all these things that we might have not normally been able to see, because the news and the other media, push their own agendas there. And it's scary. It's scary when you kind of start diving down the rabbit hole and realizing all the corruptness that goes on in this world. And it's very important to, live a life that's worth living. Don't sell yourself short, and don't hold back on anything because of fear. Because at the end of the day, fear is the only thing that's holding you from being the person that you want to be.
Exactly.
So it's hard to have that balance of the being concerned and aware of things going on, but also not being worrisome or fearsome about those things at the same time. So that's a little rant on that.
And I think we just need more unity. I think now more than ever, we actually have seen the division of, America, to where people are judging you based off who you vote for, not who you are as a person. I had an encounter with that a couple of weeks ago. Somebody felt a certain way about certain values, and I felt a different way, and they thought I was aggressive. How? We didn't even talk about anything political. I just said that you shouldn't judge people based off who they vote for or their values, and I guess I was wrong and aggressive. So I just think that people are really confused, and like this media, like you said, is just pushing narratives about both sides or both people. And honestly, it's the far out extremists and not the people in the middle. The people in the middle that see both sides are okay, but it's just the far out people that's like really this or really anti this and will go to the lengths to like, and it's like those, and when once they start getting you and putting that mind trick on you, that's what causes that division. So if we can just work on that, especially with our age, we're so young, and now that we're in the space of all the access to this information, just do your research, understand both sides of the story and not just your own. And I just want to leave it at that. I'm not really political, so I don't like, really getting into the numbers and politics, but I do find it crazy that our government was willing to shut down. And I do also find it crazy that how do you not pay your air traffic controllers, your TSA agents, everybody that gets paid by the federal government, but the Congress still gets paid.
Right.
That doesn't make sense for me. If the government shut down, then nobody should be getting paid.
Right.
Truly. So it's just certain things, and that it's bigger than what you think.
Yeah.
And we'll leave it at that. It's way bigger than what you think. And just get your mind right, get the right people in your life, and just build that relationship with God. Because if you don't, you're always going to get confused. You're always going to feel like you're not in the right place. You're always going to feel uncomfortable. And just by getting right with God don't mean that your life gets better and whoop-de-doo, like I can go around and everything's going to be perfect. No, your test might even get harder. because God's gonna put things in your life to prepare you for that next step, that next evolution of your life. But He's not gonna give it to you if you're not ready for it. And I had to learn that this year. I had to learn that just because I didn't get the sales position and I felt lost, I felt like I didn't know where I was going, but He set me down and was like, no, this is where you really want to go. This is what I want you to do, and that's what I'm gonna do, and that's what I plan on doing because He put that in my mind. He arranged for me to do my research, and then He put me in a position to where I can meet people that's also already in that position. So as far as that, love one another and do research, man. Understand what's going on in the world, not just what's going on in your circle
Right.
and
Go
your
find your own
level.
information.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what very well said, because I do agree that there is way too much hate in this world and not enough love, like genuinely. And it could sound cliche and it could sound like, oh, like what are you saying? But it's like, why are people online happy that a man with kids at home and a wife at home gets assassinated?
Yeah.
To where, and we're obviously referring to Charlie Kirk, and the assassination that happened in Utah, and it's just an event like that is kind of like one of those major ones that we look back at in history, and like I hate to compare it to another situation or something that's already happened when there are different problems and different issues, but
Yeah.
when you look at public assassinations through our history of JFK and Martin Luther King,
Yeah.
and even if you go way back to Abraham Lincoln, it's like people, these figures that have voiced their opinions and wanted to see change for the people, get silenced and in a way of being killed. There's always been people on either side of that, the opposite parties, whether it's political or not, that have celebrated those deaths and that have really, shown the evil that is inside of them. Why are we celebrating deaths ever?
Yeah.
Why are we, no matter if we agree with your opinions or with your standpoints, why are we happy to see a man get murdered brutally online where his family consistently is going to always see that video, be able to pop up and have to live through that like it's a normal occurrence or like it's a regular thing that happens? I mean, this man, whether you like him or not, the main thing that I have to say about him is that what he was doing was promoting free discussion and free speech. He wanted to go around these college campuses with these young kids with big personalities and people that have all these opinions that want to post things online. And he said, let's have real conversations. If you have something that you have that disagrees with what I say, let's talk about it and let's have a debate. Like, let's be grown-ups about it. You guys want to act grown and you guys want to make, your voices heard so much. Well, how about talk to someone that's educated and let's see, what they say. Even if you don't agree to it, at least hear them out and see where they're coming from. But at the end of the day, he wasn't trying to push a narrative. He wasn't trying to go around the country and convince people otherwise. I mean, you could say that that's what he was doing, but in all reality, what he was really doing was just promoting open discussion and free debates. And that's what this country should be able to learn from, is that it's okay to have uncomfortable conversations with other people that are going to disagree with things that you believe in. That is a part of life. There's always been disagreements. There's always been sides. There's always been sides for people to pick, fences for people to play. And at the end of the day, it's just one of those things that you have to be more open. You can't be so closed off. Or number one, you're not going to learn much in life because you're so closed off to your own beliefs. And it's fine to have your own opinion and it's fine to stand on it, but it's not fine to be so against someone else's opinion that you have hate in your heart for them. Because there's people online that were really celebrating that. They have never even met that man in their life. They watched a couple of videos that popped up on their timeline. That was enough for them to make their own videos celebrating his death. It's like, what is wrong with you people? And that's another big thing. It's like with the freedom of speech. We're so, both parties are so true on the, we should have more freedom. We should be able to be ourselves and voice our own opinions. But then both parties also contradict themselves by, okay, shutting down the free speech. It's like, why are we talking about these issues? Well, we're talking about them because you're trying not to talk about them. And it's like, why are we trying to brush things under the rug? But then we have news segments about bullshit on the news every single day, or bullshit stories that are regular day occurrences.
We've just been having a lot of that recently, like the school shootings, mass shootings and stuff. Like,
it's a crazy world. It's a crazy time to live in. So you just got to be certain in something. That's why that's what faith is. It's like everybody has faith in something. And if you're just going to sit there worrying and not really knowing what your next move is or panicking, then you're having faith in that. It's like, no matter which way you look at it, you put your belief and you put your faith and trust into something. So keep your energy in the right direction, because crazy things that happen out there, and there's crazy people out there that have nothing to lose, clearly.
Yeah.
And then, you could go on the contrary and say that all this stuff is setups, all of it's government setups. All these people were being killed off because they're exposing too much information. He was big on, getting ready to go after the Epstein files again and trying to get the truth on that.
Yeah.
And Israel information.
Yeah, that's a huge theory right now.
Whatever you want to call it and whatever you want to say, call it a conspiracy theory or whatnot. When you see, the facts and you see the things that are out there for you to put the pieces together yourself, you realize that, you're being lied to a lot. You're not being told the honest truth. And that is a shame, because we as people, I feel like, at least deserve the honesty of the situations. At the end of the day, that's where corruption just takes over every aspect of life, because if we're not going to even be told the truth, then how can you ever expect a fair shot?
And they're trying to take away the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that we're arguing about, how many genders there are, or how what makes a woman, that just says everything that you need to know about the current state of America. And it's just like, what else do you want? Like, what else are we supposed to do as, straight men of America that get ridiculed for just being straight? Like, what is that? How does that? I just don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, that's another thing. People want to be accepted for who they are.
Yeah.
But then they don't want to accept others for who they are.
Yeah.
It's like you're playing the fence. Again, you want less straight males in charge. Okay. Just because so many people feel that way, no matter if you're qualified for a position or if you should even have it or at all, just because someone doesn't like your sexuality or your race, you can now be passed over for somebody that's completely underqualified compared to you. And it's like, how's that going to help anything?
Yeah.
Right. How are we going to get to a position of a better life for the people around us and for the future generations if we're kind of just giving out participation awards instead of embracing the grind, embracing accomplishments, embracing putting the time in for something and getting the rewards out for it? Instead, too many people want handouts. And I think that's where the stereotypes can come into play, or the stigmas that have been around for so long of who does good in life and who doesn't, who's the middle class and who's the lower class. And people want to change that, but there are people that change that for their own families and for themselves. People go out there and put the work in necessary, and they break those curses and those generational traumas that their family line has went through and their bloodline. And they change their life for the better, and they change it for the ones that are coming after them. Yeah, just take control of your own life. Don't let it pass you by. You never know when your last day is, when your last breath is. The least you can do is go out, giving it your all, every single day like it's your last.
Right. And remember, every action has a reaction. Just because you do something, there is effects to everything that you do, whether it's positive or negative effects. But you can't just go out in the world thinking everything's going to come to fruition when you just raise your finger and go la-di-da-di-da. No, it doesn't work like that. So whatever you put into the world, that's what you're going to get back. If you put in a good grind, your effect is you're going to grow financially, you're going to grow spiritually, you're going to grow mentally. If you treat people wrong and then you keep getting snaked, that's because you treat people wrong, life's going to treat you wrong. So just remember that everything that you do has a reaction and will affect you at some point. So make sure everything you do, think twice, go about it, and think logically, not selfishly.
That's a fact, Jack. That's a fact.
Anything else on your mind?
Yeah, I mean, just to switch, we talked about some dilemmas and some hard things that are going on right now. Just to get back on a positive note, as we continue to show you guys, what the game plan is for the upcoming episodes. Of course, we are looking to build a community still live and strong. We want everybody to be active in this community. We want people that have dilemmas in their life to come to us for advice, people that want to hear about situations that others went through, people that even want to share their own testimonies. Of course, this is a community. We would love to have extra guests on all the time. We've had a good number of guests on so far that have been able to share tremendous stories and their trials and tribulations. And that's huge, because we are not just for us. We are a platform for everybody, because at the end of the day, if you're lost or confused and you feel slept on, you're in the right place right now, because you're looking for growth. You're looking to change. You're looking for something that's going to elevate you to the next level. What does finishing a strong 2025 look like for you? Because we're in quarter 4 right now. We started this thing in about quarter 1. And we just said earlier in the episode, we both had some big changes career-wise, a lifestyle. But what does finishing this year strong look like for you?
I'm finishing this year strong is just locking in on my job, what I do now, and then detailing. Just really put my head down, and if I want to pick up an extra shift, or just make sure that I have a project lined up, and I'm just keeping myself busy. And also put money into my investments. I found a couple ETFs that, one of my boys, a shout out to Kenton, he wrote me up a little portfolio. So just throwing a little couple dollars in that, watching that grow, and as well as my savings.
Yeah.
And I told you about the big thing that I want to do for my mom. So I'm not gonna put that out to the world yet, but until it's done. But making those things happen will get me started off to a great 2026.
Yes. That's awesome. That's awesome. So one thing specifically I did this last week that I plan to set me up great for 2026 and to finish off 2025 good. I did something that I like to call an internal life audit. It's one of those things, when you're in business for yourself, when you're doing sales life, when you have a million things going on, it's easy to get lost in the shuffle of, where you're at and where you currently stand. So what I wanted to do was sit down with myself in this office, and really, pen to paper. Sometimes you have all these thoughts in your head of, your ambitions, your goals, where you're at financially, where you need to be. And it's a lot of thoughts, and it's a lot of jumbled thoughts. We have a lot of thoughts per day that come in and out of your mind. It's easy to think of something new. And so I really wanted to sit down because it was something that was heavy on my mind. So when I say internal life audit, it goes as far as listing the current assets that you have right now. Okay, whether that be, money you got in a bank account, investments you got going on, vehicles, properties, anything can be an investment or an asset. You can have gold, you can have crypto, you could have guns, jewelry, shoes, tools, anything, and break down, exactly where you're at with your assets. And then on the contrary, you're going to have to know where you're at with your liabilities as well. What bills do you owe? What are your current monthly expenses? That's a big one. Moving into a new lifestyle, I had to list my current monthly expenses to get a good idea of, okay, I'm in sales, I'm not guaranteed money. So I need to know exactly my quota of what I need to make to not only have a good time and to be able to do the things I want to do, but to survive.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, when you're moving out on your own to a new city all by yourself, and you don't have a guaranteed job, it has to be very strategic the way you move. And so, like I said, assets, liabilities, list, your debts. What do you owe? What do you need to get paid off? And then that followed by your monthly bills and expenses. Two more things, actually. I listed business opportunities that I have to look forward to for the next 3 to 4 months to make sure, okay, where's the money going to come from in my instance? Where am I going to generate this money to make sure I can afford my lifestyle? And then the last thing, of course, I had 10 goals that I set for myself for 2025. They were financial, lifestyle, mental health, physical health. And I wrote those down again on paper, and I did a mental check-in on each note of, okay, where am I at on this goal? Where did I succeed and where did I fail? Because, it's easy to set goals for yourself and to not reach them, especially if you're setting hard goals, not just easy ones that you can accomplish. I'm talking about goals that it takes you out of your zone, out of your element sometimes to get done. I did not do as good as I would like to have said. I can't sit here and lie and act like it was a perfect year. Out of those 10 goals, some were completed, some were half completed, and some just weren't close. Yeah. And that's just what it is. And so for me, what I know I need to do is not only use this next 3 months to continue to grind at those goals to try and hit that quota that I set for myself in January by January of this year. And so my big thing is locking in for this last quarter, but also it's a great bit of information to have to move forward with quarter one of next year, because now I'm going to be more aware of exactly where I stand. Okay. You got to have budgets. You got to have your finances in track. Finances is very important. And a lot of people, don't understand that it's very attainable to take care of them yourself. You don't need to be some professional. You don't need to have all the knowledge. All it takes is to do a little bit of your own research and to be able to sit down and say, okay, I know what is considered an asset, what is a liability in my life. I know where my goals are, what my money can come from, what my opportunities are. You have to be able to break it down. And again, putting it pen to paper, writing something down, writing your goals down is important. Having visual representations, a vision board to have, work site. Have something to work forward to. Don't just sit there and grind away your life without having a goal. Because without accomplishing goals, you're more so not going to get anything out of it, because it's the journey, again, not the destination always. Checking off each of those goals throughout your year, throughout your month, throughout your week, whether that's a daily goal, anything like that. It's just very important for your own morale to be able to finish the things that you set out and the challenges that you put upon yourself. And it's very important to have it mapped out, because you got to have a good strategy to be able to grow and keep going.
So actually, I want to challenge our audience to take the time out, 30 minutes to an hour, do a life audit. What we're going to do when we drop this episode, we will put a little outline of what you should do and what you should write. And in 3 months, I would love us to follow that. And in 3 months, let us know if it worked for you. And because I think it will. I've done it as well. Chase and I both have done it, and we've seen the growth from doing it. We've seen where we stand, we've seen where we need to go, and it just keeps our life on track to be able to live the lifestyle that we would like to live and the extreme lifestyle that we are going to live in the future. So yeah.
And amen. You could have anything that you want in this life. That is the biggest goal and lesson that I have learned this year, is that if you set your expectations high enough in the form of goals that you can reach them strategically, the lesson will be that you will be able to accomplish all of those things that you set out to accomplish, because it's mind over matter. There's going to be distractions in life. There's going to be roadblocks. There's going to be reasons why you feel you can't do things, limitations that you set upon yourself. It's about having enough control in your own mind and having enough courage to be able to perform the actions that you speak and that you think.
Exactly.
And so I just want everybody on this to know we're back in action. We're here to fucking motivate. We're here to give you the insights. We're here to teach discipline. We're here to grow with you guys.
Yeah.
This is a community, and we're so excited to be back and at it with you boys. Ladies, if you're listening as well, we don't discriminate. Anybody that fear to better themselves. Anybody that the message is being portrayed to well. Anybody that has anybody that needs that extra push. Anybody that needs something. Just a reason, and whether we're giving you that reason or we're not, I mean, we're nothing without our experiences. So the least we can do is share ours with you.
Yes, sir. And go see your homies. All right, go see your friend. You ain't seen them in about a year. Go see your homeboy. Go see your homegirl. Keep them friendships tight. Because they know you for the best you. It's always good to build new friendships. Great, but your day ones, the people that you grew up with, whether that was college, y'all spent a long stint of time together, y'all might not see each other, book that flight to go see them for a few days. You won't regret it at all. I haven't seen him in about almost a year, so just me being here and spending these 5 days has just taught me a lot, and much love.
Amen. And just to piggyback on that before we wrap this up, it's huge because, we're just talking about finances and getting your life in track to have goals and to have a better future for yourself, but maybe a future family as well. Don't forget to live in the moment. Don't forget to soak it up and enjoy it. Cause again, your moments are not guaranteed. You might have a little bit of money saved up. You might feel like you're not in a position to be able to, have too much fun right now. It's more of a work mode for you. That's fine. But whenever you do, map it out and you get to kind of see what you're working with, don't hesitate. Don't hesitate to, buy that car, get that new job, move into that new apartment, go see your friend, get into that relationship with your girlfriend. Find something that makes you happy and run with it. And don't be afraid of the what ifs, or because at the end of the day, none of it matters, because nothing external can defeat internal. And that's just the last thing I want to leave you guys with today. This has been the 404 Fear Not Found podcast, back in action. You already fucking know, baby. We're back at it. Get used to seeing it. We're going to have a lot more guests coming up soon. We have a lot of new ideas coming. We're going to keep it fresh. We're going to keep it entertaining. But most importantly, we want to keep this community strong and active for the ones that need it from the ones that got it. So, listen, this has been 404 Fear Not Found podcast, baby. And we're here to stay.